Today I'm going to have a chat with my former colleague, Hussien. Actually, I have to say it is a Dr. Hussien. He has a PhD in some academic field, and I'm going to ask him to introduce that. Good morning, Hussien.
Good morning, James. Thank you very much for inviting me for your channel. My name is, as you said, Hussien Zughaer. I'm PhD in manufacturing and material processing from Leeds University, England. That's a long time ago in 1990. And then I migrate to Canada as a skilled worker. There are so many categories to get to Canada. One of them is a skilled worker. A skilled worker, it's mean that you have certain qualification, usually engineering, medical field or another field, and you qualify for that and you will pay and so on to get to Canada. As a background, I'm from Middle East, in particular from Iraq. In Iraq, in the 90s was under the sanctions, UN sanctions, and everybody knows about that. So most of Iraqis professionals left Iraq seeking some prospers for their families. Usually as academic, we went to Arabian countries like Jordan, Libya, and Yemen. And I was in Libya for a few years. But soon as I started in Libya, I started to apply for Canadian residency as a landed immigrant and start my career and life here. That's a long time ago. Process it take 4 years, and with that process, in 2001, I got granted the landed immigrant status, and and in the same time, I got a good, let's say, job prospects in Jordan as a professor in one of the high top universities. The name of Hashemite University is the name of the kingdom. By the way, I was in Libya as well in the name of Tripoli, which is Al Fatah University, which is again same thing. But these are big universities, attract professional, which is high degree from foreign countries like Brits and United States. So I landed in Canada and I stayed in my job. So I was going back and forth between Canada and my job. The reason why, maybe because we were scared. All the stories, we've seen a lot of foreign, they don't have their work, their career. Some of them, I've seen them, they are driving taxis, which is they have PhDs and engineers and so on.
It is unfortunate that people with a PhD driving a taxi or, mind you, I don't discriminate any profession. Driving taxi and all that, is worthy using their hands, using their skills. But it is with such a high degree of training and experience, it is a waste of their talent.
It's a waste of the talent, and they came as a skilled worker. But I think we will talk about that is the system, how to work with the system, not against the system. So the system sometimes frustrates people. And because it takes longer time, so people, they don't have the patience, so they want to put food on the table, so they will do it fast. The taxi will provide that. Nothing wrong with working as a taxi, but you could get your career if you have patience and you will follow the system, but it's a very lengthy process. We'll talk about that too.
Okay, good.
Having said that, it's when I landed in Ontario, in Toronto. Toronto, it's a big, very well known with the industry, especially engineering industry and so on. So that is really supposed to be our destination. But to be honest, we didn't like Toronto. It's so big city. It's a lot of waste of time in traveling. And there is one thing as well, as an immigrant, my wife at that time, she was pregnant, and the first 3 months in the province of Ontario, you are not granted medical care. It's not free. Whereas in the Atlantic provinces, when I searched in all Atlantic provinces, they granted a medical care for the immigrants from the first day. And that's why we moved to Nova Scotia in 2002. we were in Nova Scotia and we loved the city. We came in summer. It was a beautiful weather here. My wife fell in love with the province, and we got our daughter Miriam, born in Nova Scotia in 2002. Is actually in 10 days from now, which is it was her 18th birthday. So it's been 18 years in Nova Scotia. When we landed first in Nova Scotia, when we came from Ontario to Nova Scotia. It's a beautiful city. The province is very nice. The size, because my PhD from England, I like the size because it's not big cities, not small cities, so the maneuver is better, as well as the weather and people friendly. We didn't stay much in Toronto and Nova Scotia because the job problem. And I wasn't willing to work in any job, so I was, as I said, back and forth from the Hashmat University, Jordan, till I decided to settle. We have to settle. We have to get the Canadian citizenship and so on. So then I digged why people go to, drive taxi and things like that. So in every province here, there is a center for immigrants. At that time, it's called MISA.
Yes.
The MISA, it is the immigration center. Now it's called iSense. So my wife, she took courses in English to improve her English and go back to work as well, because she's a teacher as well, early childhood educator. And myself, I was have the time, the chance to get some training how to get to the workforce. Training, believe it or not, basic training is important because you have to understand the mentality of the companies, what they are looking for exactly. And mostly we are overqualified. This is another issue as well. And how to get to this from maybe to get the Canadian experience. That's the issue. We mentioned that too many times to iSense. Now I think they have a lot of bridging programs, and I will talk about the bridging program in iSense, like the startup program and so on, because this is a lot of immigrants from years ago. They face this problem, and that's why they've been discouraged, and they go to find any other job like groceries or pizza or whatever the job. Nothing to take anything from any job, but it's a waste of skills and knowledge. So in that time, I was training even how to interview, even how to write resume, so many things. And one thing here is a lesson learned. Any province, I say, doesn't matter if it's provide for you your career. So I got an offer from Newfoundland. When I got it from Newfoundland, college in Newfoundland, College of North Atlantic, I took the offer and take my family to Newfoundland. This is how I started. Newfoundland are great people. Newfoundland province is a very nice province. The education system is very well. And I lived in a neighborhood where everybody cared for each other. It's actually, they make me feel like I'm home. Torbay, I have so much involvement in Torbay. I was coaching soccer for my kids and the kids of the neighborhood. I was part of the municipality because there is a soccer team, and we were competing with the other. Actually, the high school asked me as well to help in the soccer and so on. But one problem in Newfoundland at that time, there's no diversity. We are culturally like foods, like restaurants, like something which is from Middle East. So this is big issue was for my family. And there were a chance in Newfoundland, the College of North Atlantic. We have a campus in Middle East, in Qatar. So we moved to Middle East, Qatar. And that's where is one of my kids born in Qatar. And by the way, one of my kids as well born in Newfoundland. So one thing you should know about me, I have 4 kids, each one of them born in different city. Yeah, it's when we finished the post of Qatar, we came back to Newfoundland again. Same thing, the diversity big issue for my family, my wife, and things like that. And then when I got a chance to move to Nova Scotia, where is more diversity, is better diversity, because it looked like Halifax is the capital of all the Atlantic provinces. All the Atlantic provinces come to here to do shopping and things like that. A lot of Middle Eastern, a lot of Chinese
Oh,
food, a
yes.
lot of Asian food, which is we are in love and we like. There is a lot of diversity comparing with. It's not big like diversity like Ontario maybe, but it's really very and it is growing. Now we will talk about the impact of the refuge program, which is started in 2016. And you and me, I think we have
Oh,
involvement
yes.
in that. You know that.
Yes.
And we
It's
are
the
part
first
of this.
time I remember that was the first time I visited your mosque. And
Yeah.
I've been there
Yeah.
3 more times later.
Yeah. And as you know, I visit as well your place where we've seen really a nice play about the Christmas and so on. So it's a lot of open here.
Yes.
Um, and we will talk about as well the involvement of the other like churches, like the Four River Church, St. John's Four River Church, and the refuge program. I think you, me, and Rogers, we were talking
Yes.
about how the Syrian and the adaptation, and you were doing some training courses about
Yeah.
the in the college in that sense. So there are behind it many things, and now I think the fruit is come, and you could see now Nova Scotia, Bedford in particular, has a lot of Middle Eastern taste in it, groceries,
Oh,
restaurants,
yes.
Buza Misa, Grill Away, 360. There are
Yeah.
so many is building now, and every day it looks like there is something new. And that is really where we like to see more and more diverse
Yeah.
restaurants and social activity in this province, as well as communities here growing. I have so much involvement in communities, trying to educate people how to get their role in the society, how to be
Mhm.
have a good impact on society. And this is really part of you know us, me, like you as well, how to educate people and to see there is some good things here, we could build something here. We are not saying there is no negative here. There are some, but there are some challenges, all our families challenges. But when we compare with our countries, and I talk about myself, no, we are far better. We are more prosperous here, and we are more secure and safe, and we are growing here.
Good. Boy, that's a
Yeah,
lot to think about
a lot
when
of
you
things.
yeah, it
Yeah,
it is the diversity that I enjoy, but what I don't know how you feel about it. It is um I call it diversity. I do not call it ghettoism because
no,
um as far as I can see it, either the Middle Eastern or I hope, Chinese or Hong Kongers, which my I left Hong Kong in my late teens, and we all integrate together. At least the people that I know. That's why I know them like you.
yeah,
Um, but I find yes, in Toronto or Vancouver, there may be a lot of Chinese or Middle Eastern or whatever, but many of them stay in their own community and they do not go out that much. And it formed like a ghetto itself
yeah.
voluntarily. And I feel, oh boy, what a shame. We can learn so much from each other. And I do have to say, um, the best Middle Eastern food I ever tasted is in your mosque.
Thank you very much. It was great, actually. Yes.
Yes. I still have to learn how to order the real Middle Eastern food in a restaurant here. I can't even pronounce the name. I have no idea what they. I remember the first time I was there, some people served me a sheep or a goat's head.
Oh, yes.
I never in my life thought that the head, I think it was a goat, the head of a goat has so much meat in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally don't like it, but I mean, there are lots of people. My wife, she loves it.
Oh,
And the
I
thing
love it.
sometimes
I love it.
we bring it here, and yeah, it is one of the traditional.